Welcome to Systems Alliance. My name is Jexy, and in this video we're going to go over the new Comic-Con trailer for HBO's His Dark Materials. So as you all know, HBO Max is the new streaming platform for AT&T, and it's supposed to carry them into the future. That's going to be their competitive edge versus Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and Amazon Prime and everybody else. But HBO itself has a glaring gap in its lineup, and that is no Game of Thrones. Obviously, Game of Thrones, basically the most popular TV show ever. So how can you possibly fill in that gap? I mean, it obviously had, of course, the fantasy aspect, but then it also had the kind of raunchy realism and all the drama that comes with the human interactions. So what is HBO going to do to fill that void? Obviously, they just had Chernobyl, but that was only, 4 or 5 episodes, so that's not going to be enough to hold people over. So it looks like what they're going to be doing is bring in a new fantasy series. Now, when I first heard of Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials, I was kind of like, should I know this franchise already? I can't recall the books. Have they done anything else? Well, they have. And unfortunately, it was pretty disappointing the last time this series hit US shores, and that was The Golden Compass. So I don't know if you remember, obviously a while back, I believe, was it 2008? Either way, The Golden Compass, Daniel Craig, Nicole Kidman, that movie came out. I believe its budget was around $180 million. Add to that the marketing budget, which was also very large. And the budget was so big that the overseas rights to the movie, New Line Cinemas actually had to sell the rights. And it only made $70 million here in the United States. So let's kind of think about that. If it had a budget of $180 million, you add in marketing, it probably needed to make close to $500 million. Well, the movie in total only made about $370 million. The big problem, though, is that it only made $70 million here in the United States. So cut that in about half. I mean, this movie lost the studio about $150 million because all of the proceeds from overseas, they never even got. They had to sell those. So it was an epic disaster for New Line. Warner Brothers at the time was really upset with them. They refused to even merge New Line in with Warner Brothers Pictures at that time because it did so poorly. It wasn't reviewed well. So if you just go by that, I think you might be pretty worried. What makes me look forward to this is the fact that it's HBO. And HBO's put a big budget into it. And it's going to be a series. They don't have to cram everything into one movie. So I feel pretty good about this. I think that this is something that maybe not can replace Game of Thrones, but at least is something for the audience. I mean, everyone's been going, what's the next Game of Thrones going to be? And this might be it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the trailer.
Gentlemen, there is a war raging right now with the Magisterium, between those trying to keep us in ignorance and those willing to fight for truth and freedom. Who will stand with me?
This kind of heresy is of the highest priority to the Magisterium. I need to know where he's going and what he intends to achieve.
Your uncle's packing up to leave.
You're not leaving!
I can't stay! The North is no place for a child.
Myra, the Master has asked if I can find a place for you. And I want you as my assistant.
You're an explorer too, just like my uncle.
I can teach you to wield power, but you must let me mold you.
We
She
believe
evil.
there's an organization that is stealing children and taking them north.
Sometimes children can just disappear.
I promised to do everything I could to protect you from harm. This, it's an alethiometer. It is illegal unless approved by
Kind
the
of a
Magisterium.
golden compass.
What does it do?
It tells you the truth. She has to make a journey. One which I'm afraid includes a great betrayal.
Jeez.
It's trying to warn me of something.
So this one seems a lot more kid-friendly than Game of Thrones.
He scores me. I can fight.
can fly.
What question should we be asking you that we are not?
The Magisterium have muscle. I would ask where I could obtain the services of an armored bear.
Yorick Bernison. I'm ready to fight.
These people need our help, Yorick. Let's go get
Looks pretty good.
How am I supposed to trust you when no one tells me the truth?
A lot of good actors in this.
It's time.
I know.
Interesting. So it looks like His Dark Materials is debuting this fall on HBO, and that trailer was pretty interesting. I mean, it actually makes me want to watch it, and that's what they really have to do. There's a ton of competition out there right now with everyone forming their own streaming service, and HBO's got to bring their A game. One of the reasons cited in the AT&T purchase of Time Warner, Warner Brothers, which includes HBO, was Game of Thrones. But they had to have known that Game of Thrones was going to be ending. So what were they doing? You're only going to have it for like a half season, the last season. That's one of the reasons you're going to buy it, or are you really buying it because HBO is going to come out with something else that's really good? Obviously, it seems like they would bet on the latter, and this seems to be no exception. I obviously can't remember anything about the original Golden Compass movie. It was pretty forgettable, but this seems pretty cool. It seems like, once again, like I mentioned in the trailer, more kid-friendly than Game of Thrones isn't even kid-friendly, who are we kidding? But this seems like something, I didn't see anything there that would make it so you couldn't view it if you were a kid. So maybe they're hoping they're going to get even higher viewership numbers. The only difference is they're really going to have to step up their game for the adult audiences with all this if they expect everyone to be tuning in. I mean, it is HBO after all. So we'll just have to see how this turns out. Let me know your thoughts on this trailer down in the comment section below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Twitter, and we'll catch you next time.